let me also thank all of you for coming. 8 months ago, we embarked on an improbable journey with nothing more than our faith in God and a hunger for change. We set out on a path to pursue the perfection of Africa's unity. We set out to ask the tough questions and to identify the root causes of our problems. To seek answers and solutions, not just for today, but because we know that our future depends on what we do. We understand that at this defining moment, we can only do what is expected of us as young Africans and as Friends of Africa. A year ago, we were all witness to the historic election of President Obama in the United States. And that historic moment stimulated our desire and reaffirmed our beliefs that as young people, the sky remains the limit. And everything is achievable with dedication and hard work. Now you see, it's not that we cannot perfect our union, meaning the African Union. What has hampered our efforts is that we have sometimes chosen the wrong path. We've accepted military coups, civil wars, and has given comfort to leaders who chose to dictate rather than lead. We've allowed death and destruction to become tools to how we solve our problems on the continent of Africa. Some of the saddest chapters ever recorded in our lifetime find slots on the pages of Africa's history books. Too often we have allowed our people to become pawns to the minority that seek to hold us back. Some of our leaders have been focused on becoming big men rather than building strong and vibrant institutions that will outlive them. These are real problems that we have in Africa. From people standing on long lines to cast a ballot that sometimes may not even be counted, to being persuasive in their desire to see a better future for their children. All of this encompasses the spirit of the African people, because they chose to be hopeful through all these adversities. Now, as much as we want to focus on the negatives and the challenges that have plagued our continent, we must not allow cynicism to overshadow the progress that we have made, because there has been progress. From the people of Liberia electing the first female president on the African continent, to the people of South Africa breaking the chains of apartheid, to live in a rainbow nation in a beautiful democracy. In the last 2 decades, more democracy have emerged on the African continent than any time in our history. From Botswana to Ghana, from Mozambique to Tanzania, the people of Africa have embraced change. In Rwanda, we've seen a nation rise up from the scourge of genocide to live in a democracy where its parliament today boasts of the highest percentage of women anywhere in the world. These are the true stories of Africa. The hidden truth that is often overshadowed and is never told by a few ugly heads on our continent. One of the amazing things about President Obama's election, and I understand that today we probably do have Americans in the audience and Friends of Africa, because that's why you're here. One of the amazing things about President Obama's election is that it gave us all the audacity to hope. To believe that ordinary people, when committed to change, can do extraordinary things. That yes, change can indeed come from the bottom up. It was with that audacity that we gave birth to NuVsionPAC, a movement to enhance the political and social consciousness of Africa's youth, to harness our political capital, and to send a clear message to our leaders and to the world that we will no longer be ignored. Since our inception, we formed partnerships and have supported pro-democracy movements in Africa. Recently, we saw the brutality in Guinea, where a military government decided to kill up its own people because they chose to speak their mind, because they chose to oppose dictatorship. We set out to make telephone calls to the Guinean embassy in Washington, D.C., just as a little sign to stand with our brothers and sisters, because they cannot do it. And I'm proud to report to you that the Guinean embassy received almost 4,000 calls from young people in the international community. We send those messages out with emails, through Facebook. We use Twitter. These are common tools that we can use to bring about change. We're beginning to engage governments and political leaders on the continent, while promising to become goodwill ambassadors for nations that uphold the rule of law and protect the fundamental and human rights of its citizens. We're also seeking to engage regimes who govern by the suppression of dissent, with the hope of encouraging them to institute reforms in these respective countries. We began a process of reaching out to government and international organizations around the world to focus on the African agenda, the African youth agenda, to invest in the future of Africa, and to demand a seat at every table that holds a discussion about our future.